guys, welcome back to the Reality Receipts podcast starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley, and today is our Bravo Day. So we're here to talk about the Valley and also Real Housewives of Miami episode 2. We did get a chance to talk to Lisa Hochstein from that show this week, which was our first big Bravo interview, which was so exciting. And we have another one coming up next week, so we don't want to spoil it yet, but it's really cool to watch the show and then talk to people on it, get their perspectives. So if you haven't watched that yet, check it out. But for now, should we talk about the Valley first?
Let's talk about the Valley. Jack's
Yes.
officially out of rehab.
Dun dun dun, he's back.
Ashley, you were taking those words out of my mouth. I'm literally I was.
Were you? I was literally gonna say that
with you.
This okay, because we just recorded a Love Island recap as well, so you can check that out. And there was multiple times where we were literally saying the same words at the same time. We're our brain has melded into one. So
I was really dun dun dun. Well, yeah. I will say that the episodes are more entertaining with Jax there. I hate to say that. I don't know if it was just this one, but I just Jax is such a character, man. Seeing him just act like he just had this experience and he's just changed. And I've just, it's almost like a script, right?
Yes.
I talked about all of this, everything I thought I would take to my grave. I brought up and I'm just so healed, but nobody came to check on me. But and then
he's such a victim.
No, he's such a victim. I'm not making an excuse, but follows up with an excuse.
That was actually crazy, which I'm jumping ahead a bit. But when he was like, "Oh, I'm not drinking right now. I'm gonna drink. It's not that I can't drink. Drinking's not my problem. Rage is my problem." And it's no, didn't you just go to rehab? I know it's a mental health facility, but drinking leads to you doing drugs, which is what you're trying to stop. So yeah, you aren't supposed to be drinking.
Anger, alcohol leads to you being angry. But
yeah, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, he's not healed. People think he didn't really go to rehab. What do you think? Was he actually at a facility?
I don't know, because I've never heard of a facility that lets you use your phone as much as he was on his phone, that lets you out for random hours of the day.
Right.
What is this place?
Yeah, how is it good for your mental health to be okay, leave for an hour, go ransack your ex-wife's house, and then come back here and just do some more therapy? It makes no sense.
Then here's your phone so you can rage text. This was not a good promotion for them, and they better hope that they never say their name or else they'll go out of business, because what kind of place is this? It doesn't seem like a real facility. So
no, I think he was at an Airbnb, just relaxing and getting maybe some therapy. But it's hard to believe he was in any sort of serious facility, because I've never heard of this before.
Yeah. So. And his favorite line, I did 7 hours of therapy a day.
It did not work.
It was shocking to me that he went and got Botox and he went and he didn't see his son, went and got a haircut. And then you're trying to act like Brittany's the reason that you didn't get to see your son. And it's you didn't even ask. Talk about, shows me blocked on everything. You didn't even try to text her because she actually unblocked you.
Yeah. And he clearly just stops by the house whenever he wants to. So it's if you really want to see your son, then stop by, or have a friend come by with you and ask to see him. He didn't even try at all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was, and then you had a dinner with all your friends and just instantly jumping into drama, instantly being oh, I'm glad, I'm not the only one with the issues here, but you don't even really know what's going on because you haven't been here, but yet you're trying to he's made for TV. He's made for TV and he's made for drama. I think the biggest ick of this entire show is when he said he's excited to have a bachelor pad and it's his dream to just 45, and you're talking about it's your dream to be how you and Schwartz and Sandoval were when you guys were 20.
Yeah. No, and I mean, he wasn't even that young then. In 2009, I think he was
he was 30, right?
28. Yeah, he was
started the show at 28, almost being 30.
Yeah. Yeah, so he wasn't even that young. That was so weird when at the start he went back to the house with Jesse and he kept saying like, as a woman, Brittany shouldn't have
Yes.
this house. Like, what does that mean? As a woman, you can't have 5 bedrooms? Like the way he said that with the like disdain that he did, you could see like he does not like Brittany. He does not like women in general. He thinks they're like here and he's here. It was so
Yeah,
very
I had
weird.
wrote that down in my notes. Like, why does he keep emphasizing woman? As a
Yeah.
woman, you don't need a 3 bedroom house. Just get a you don't need a 5 bedroom house. Get a 3 bedroom house. And
Yeah.
then he's like, oh, the mortgage stuff, I paid it off. And then one breath. And then he's like, and then the next breath, he's like, well, yeah, I stopped paying for everything when I found out about, oh boy, like,
That's what I was gonna say. Brittany, as a woman, pays the mortgage, and you don't, as a man. So what does that matter? Like, what is the? There was a very weird point, but
why did
not
he keep saying
surprising.
that? And even Jesse, like, Jesse, I am not a fan of Jesse. Jesse gets on my nerves.
No.
But Jesse was even kind of like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? You know?
Yeah, that was hard with Jesse and Jax there because it's like the blind leading the blind. It's like the only time Jesse looks good is beside Jax. That's the only time where you're like, okay, he's trying to talk some sense into him. But even then, it was like these two are just toxic and
They're
shouldn't be friends.
definitely toxic. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, Jax just like played victim that whole ride home from rehab. And I was like, okay, so you haven't changed one bit.
No.
You haven't changed at all. So
He was on Watch What Happens Live last night, and people were not happy. Like, they're done. They want him off the show. They want him off
really,
Bravo. Yes, they're
really,
so over him.
what were they upset about?
Just because he's been so abusive on the show.
Yeah.
I don't think people really knew the extent of it. I think everyone always knew he was not a great husband. He was like
Yeah.
a cheater. We all knew that. I
Hmm.
don't think people knew the extent of his behavior with like the rage texting, the name calling, the
Yeah.
not paying the mortgage when you have a child, not moving out of the house, making your child leave his house. Like, so it's just gotten so dark that people are not thinking it's cute. It was cute when you're like, you're 28, you're on drugs, you're cheating on your girlfriends. Like, that's gross, but it was like, this is
Yeah.
what you expect maybe from a 20-year-old man. Not all of them, but it was like drama and entertaining. But now it's like, you're 45, you have a child, you have a wife, and you're treating them like trash. And it's just
Yeah.
gross. It's not
And like
entertaining
trying
anymore.
to like keep her when the computer thing and she's like, I'm logged into all my stuff. He's like, I'll bring it back. Like, heck no. Heck no. He's gonna
No.
go through all her stuff. Like
Yeah.
all her stuff. And then like showing up to the party, like showing up to Benji's welcome home party. You don't know Benji, you don't get along with Zach. Why would you come to this party?
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me, but Zach was so good in this episode.
He was
Was so-
so good.
I was so impressed. I feel like Jax is like, you could feel his rage like seething there, and he would be a little bit intimidating, but Zach did not back down at all. He was just like, I'm gonna let him have it.
Yeah, and it was just like you can't come to my bar. Like
Yeah,
nobody gives a damn Jax about going to your bar. Like you had nothing else to say to him that's
yeah.
what you had to come up with. You can't go to my bar.
Yeah, it was so like
Okay.
5 years old. Like, you're not allowed to come to my birthday party. Like, it was very immature. I'm like, and he said, your partners don't mind if I go. Like, Jax doesn't even own the bar. Like, everyone knows. He
Yeah,
put,
he's like, is it even your bar? Was it like Zach was so quick with the
he
comeback? Like he
was.
was like, oh, was it even your bar or was it money that Brittany gave you? Oh, it's
Yeah.
my show, my show. You see that arrogance, that ego, like, oh, he can't help it. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
wasn't your show for the last 30 days? Like Zach was quick with it. I hate that
Yeah.
the show seemed more entertaining with Jax there.
Yeah.
I do hate that. And I also hate that they're trying to convince Danny that he has a drinking problem. Like, yes,
I know.
Danny is different when he's drunk, but
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily mean he has a drinking problem. And I think
No.
that I would have slapped the dog shit out of Janet by now because she's just so rude
Yeah.
and she's driving this point home and she won't let it go and she keeps bringing it up. And Nia, to me, tried to have a very respectful conversation with her about it.
Yeah.
Like what's going on in our home, we handle it, but
Yeah.
like you don't have to keep, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a drinking problem because he called you a snake when you were drunk or because
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't like Janet, and that's a storyline that I think is like so tired. Like,
Yeah. I know. They keep,
every fucking
like I
problem.
said, they keep trying to prove that Danny is this dark Danny when he drinks. And like I said, they just need to let it go and let it happen. And if he does crazy stuff drunk, then let that play out on the show. Like if he is that way, you can only hide it for so long. So I don't know why they're like the more they talk about it, the more they get everyone on their side. And then if they had just stopped picking at it and that whole scene had played out last week where she was like getting upset with him and he was lying about doing a shot, like, you know, people would have seen that on their own and been like, oh, it seems a little bit like he does hide his drinking a bit from Mia, and that is a bit weird. But because
Right.
they're like making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic that gets
Yeah.
blackout every night, that it's just making what they are doing look fine because they're turning it into something it's not. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah. That's
even
a tired ass
when
storyline.
yeah, even when they were talking and Nia was like, "Oh, he had two seltzers," it's like, yeah, okay, so she does lie or hide his drinking, but so what? Like, it is what it is. She said like he sexually assaults women when he's drunk, and it's like, I mean, you know, it's not appropriate what he did, but it's also like, I think anyone that's been like drinking with a group of friends, sometimes, you know, it gets
Hands.
handsy. Yeah,
I mean, what did he do? He grabbed Jasmine's butt.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Which, you
And
know, that's
it's
not okay.
inappropriate. And then he said, like, get a drink for daddy or something. It is
Yeah,
inappropriate. It's extreme to call it sexual assault if that's not how Jasmine would classify it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
And
Janet is
then,
acting like it happened to her and
uh-huh.
she's like using it. I don't know why she keeps bringing it up. I feel like we've been talking about it all season at this point.
Oh,
And
yeah, it's been the
yeah,
whole main storyline, is
yeah,
Danny drinking. And like, I think they like hinted about it before the season started, and we definitely thought it was going to be something way bigger than it was. Because I'm like, okay, he hides his drinking from his wife a little bit, but
right.
like a lot of husbands probably do that. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think it necessarily means he's like an alcoholic, you know?
Yeah. I
And if
think
he is, that's up to them to decide. It's not Janet's place to decide.
yeah, the craziest part of this episode to me was finding out that Jax has a burner account.
Frank Draft.
That Jax has a fake account that he
Yeah.
leaves himself comments on.
Yeah, he says he's a legend under his own photo, which is so
Calls
funny.
himself iconic, like
Yeah.
accidentally messaging Brittany from the burner account. Like,
Oh.
he cannot prove that that's him. That's so cringy and embarrassing.
It's so funny because yesterday I saw another Bravo page post something. I can't remember what. And then there was like a fake profile commenting like positive things about Jax. And then this was before the episode aired, but people were like, oh, okay, Jax, and like saying it was him. And I was looking at it and it was just like a zero follower profile. But I feel like he has probably a few of them because this seemed
Said
like it
that
was him.
on the episode. She said he has a few.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely, I see it now in the comment section. If you go on anything negative about him, it's like, there'll be like one comment that's like arguing with everyone, and you're like, who would defend Jax like this? And now it's like, Jax, what? It's
Yeah.
him.
Jax. And then the part where he like that was the cringiest part for me. And then when he's getting served his divorce paper, he's like, "Oh, the podcast? Yeah." Like, "Oh, yeah."
That
That,
was so
yeah.
embarrassing. You
Yeah,
could
that
tell,
was
like, yeah, the way he could just think of a lie off the top of his head like that was so funny. I
his
don't know what
shorts is like, "It's your divorce papers." And it's like, it was. It's like, "Oh my
he's
God,
like, I was kidding. I know. I don't know what Shorts is doing at this point. It's like he cannot play the like bumbling idiot friend anymore. It's like you
I
know who
feel like
Jax
he was
is.
telling Jackson some good
Yeah,
stuff."
he was definitely trying. And like he went on Watch What Happens Live with him, but he just always is sitting there kind of like, ugh, like Jax, like what are you saying? What are you doing? But it's like you're choosing to sit there. You're choosing to put yourself with this person at this point. So you know who he is at this point. They've
Yeah.
been friends for like 20 years. So
Yeah,
they
their
have this
condos were nice. Their condos were super nice, but it's like,
yeah,
yeah, Schwartz. I feel like he was trying. Schwartz is obviously a really passive guy,
yeah,
a wussy pussy, like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So he was trying to tell him, he's like, "Oh, this is these divorce papers are good," and like, the child custody sounds scary. Like this is basically a love letter, and
yeah,
he was kind of telling him like, you can't like you hurt her really bad and you have to
yeah,
acknowledge that and accept that, and it's so
yeah.
funny because Schwartz had made a joke like, open a bar, get divorced, and then
I know.
opened his bar. He's like, all right, you're going to be just like me, divorced and miserable. And maybe opening up a bar is a curse.
I think so, especially for these guys, I think, because that's what they're wanting to just relive those days of being young and in the bars every night. And then once you own a bar, I think you have that excuse suddenly. It's like, yeah, I'm a married man with kids, but I got to go to work, right? But you're just hanging out at your bar all night. And I
Well, in
think,
Jax's defense, there ain't nobody at his bar, so he don't have to worry about it.
yeah, he's the only customer hanging around his own bar. So.
I don't want you at my bar anymore. It's like, okay, Jax.
It is very interesting because last season he was there every week and they were doing watch parties, and now that's not happening. So I don't know if he's been kicked out and they just haven't said it yet, but he's not there anymore at all. So,
Yeah.
and last season when the show was airing, every Tuesday he was there. So that's interesting because I'm like, that's the only point in having his name on the bar is for the season when the show's airing and bringing the crowd in. And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. What
it's
did you
not.
think of hearing that Jesse wasn't allowing their daughter to see Michelle's dad? And then you see he instantly tried to act like he never said that or like didn't know
Yeah.
what was going on because he knows that on the outside looking in that that's shitty.
Yeah. I don't even know how he was given the option to say yes or no. Because I'm kind of like, if that's like, if it was Michelle, I don't know what their arrangement is, but if that's her week and she wants to see her mom, like, I don't know. I don't get how he was able to have a say in that, right?
Mhm.
Unless she was trying to make it on his week or something.
That's what I
So,
figured. Like it was on his week that
yeah,
she
of
wanted.
course, knowing his personality, right? Anything, he's not ever going to bend about anything. And then, like,
You would think
we,
if there's one thing to bend about, it's that. My
yeah,
God.
no, he's horrible because then what like we heard when her mom did pass away, then he wouldn't even come and take his daughter. So it's like you wouldn't let her see her grandma when she was dying, and now you won't help watch her while her mom grieves. So he's just all around just gross.
He's
I think
awful.
that's what people are having the problem with this show. Like it's too dark. Like it's not young people making bad choices and messing up their relationships, but it's not there wasn't high stakes, you know? This
Hmm.
is like children's lives and marriages and it's a lot. It's heavy.
Yeah, I agree. It is.
Yeah.
It is. I was like,
It's
it was the last few episodes had been quite boring to me, but I did find this
mm,
episode to be like more entertaining. And then we have
yeah.
Kristen's engagement coming up, and
Yeah.
yeah, so we seen Luke talking to Nia and Danny about that. So that was nice. He's trying to plan her a
Yeah.
surprise engagement, which we obviously all know how that ends because we saw it in all the magazines. But
Yes.
it was
I know it's kind of like spoiler alert, but it's nice to know like it's a good ending for them because Kristen's had a rough time on Vanderpump Rules. So
don't
this
leave
show
me.
is like so different for her. It's so
Don't
nice.
leave
She's
me.
like literally the most sane, normal one with the best life. So
Interesting. I know. I never thought I'd see the day.
yeah, they actually just had their baby. They named her Kaya Lily, I think. So
Oh, well, you
yes.
call me Ricky, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Did you guys know we're pronouncing her name wrong. It's not actually Ricky, which is crazy. It's a
actually
Rikaya,
it's
right?
Rikaya, yeah. But
Yes.
it's actually it's like it is Ricky and it's not, right? It's
Yeah.
story time with Ricky, like it is Ricky because that's how I say it, but it's Rikaya. So Kaya
No,
is
it's
very close.
that's what your family calls you, right?
That's what my
Kaya?
family calls me. So my mom, my sisters, my brother, you will never hear them call me Ricky, ever. Like even
It's
my
so
closest
funny.
friends, they call me Rakaya. Yeah, you'll never hear them call me Ricky because when I was growing up, so here's the story. Like my name, I was named after my dad, Ricky. My mom always says that she didn't like the name, so she put an asterisk over the I, and that the nurse told her that it's a French name, and I looked it up, and it's not a French name. Like, so she would be like, it's always Rakaya. So since birth, my mom has always called me Rakaya, and then my dad always called me Ricky because I was technically named after him.
Mm.
Technically, it is Ricky, but growing up, I hated Ricky because it was a boy name and I got made fun of for it. So I
What?
would never let anybody call me that. I would make sure to correct them, but then people can pronounce Rakaya. So I would write it out for teachers, Rakaya. That's my name. That's how you spell it. Don't say Ricky.
Uh,
My name
yeah, no, Ricky.
always my name was always because my last name is W. So my name was always at the bottom of the roster. So when it got close to like, when it got close to the bottom of the roster, I would always try and jump in before they say
Yeah.
said Ricky, because
Yeah.
the teacher would be like, Ricky, where is he? Right?
Oh
Obviously,
man.
in today's day and age, that would never happen because
No.
everything's like gender sensitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and kids would make fun of me, be like, "Oh, Ricky, you're a boy."
What?
So
I had a girl Ricky in my school, and I always thought she was so cool. Like I just thought it was so cool to have a cool name like that. Like,
now I embrace it, but
yeah,
like up until like I swear, like up until like even after high school, like nobody knew me as Ricky, but I got tired of like introducing myself and being like Rakaya and then like who? What? How do you say
yeah,
it? Like, and I'd be like,
yeah,
okay, it's Ricky. Like Ricky's just easier. Now when I
yeah,
introduce myself, I say my name's Ricky,
yeah.
but it's actually Rakaya. So that's a little story time.
When you started like your TikTok, did you first say Ricky, or people were calling you that, so you finally were just
No,
like
I said
whatever?
it gets story time with Ricky just rings a lot better than story time with Rakaya,
Yeah,
you know.
it could work.
So now
Continue
I
to
call
work.
myself Ricky. Now I literally go by Ricky. I introduce
Yeah,
myself as Ricky because it technically is my name because it's what's on my birth certificate and I was named after my dad. So it's
yeah,
technically is my name. So
yeah. I like it. I like hearing the backstories behind. I mean, I've known this for a little while, but I was like, I couldn't remember if we talked about it on the pod or not.
Rakaya
Because
and Kaya, that's so similar. So
yes, I know it's like people were saying it means water in Hawaiian or something, but then people were like, Kai only means that, not Kaya. So they were like arguing about it in the comments. So I don't know, but apparently it means water. So that's
when
cool.
my mom just added a rut. So
I like it. Hey, I got the most boring name in the world, so I would be like,
you did name yourself, so it's
true,
fine.
it's not
You
my
know,
fault. It was the 80s.
yeah, because I'd be like, well, Ricky, what kind of name is that? Like, that's a boy name. I'm like, I didn't name myself. I literally didn't name myself. And now I
Yeah.
think it's really cute when a girl has a boy name.
Yeah,
I
I
think
love it.
it's really cute. Like Dylan, or you know what I mean? And your
Yeah.
girl, like, but at the time,
Yeah, or
I
like
didn't,
Blake or yeah, it's
I
like
didn't think
common
that's
now.
cute at all. I hated it, but now I embrace it. So you can call me whatever you want, Ricky or Ricky,
Rakaya.
whichever one you like.
I like them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so oh, Nia had her baby too, but I forget what the name is, so I gotta come back to that one. But they had a girl and Kristen had a girl, so that's cute. They'll have little
Okay, that's
girl
cute.
friends, but yeah, the I know Jax just dominates the episode. I hate being like, oh, it's better with him in it because he's gross. I don't even want to like give him that, but I guess it's that we love to hate someone, right? And he gives that. Like Janet isn't really fun to hate. She's kind of just like, blah, you know? But
She's
it's
just, yeah,
Jax is like
she's like,
horrible.
yeah, Jax is horrible. Like, I think now I'm starting to see when he said, like, oh, like he's gonna look really bad this
Yeah,
season. Like, I'm definitely starting to see that because it's just like, obviously, you're saying sexist things, like you're playing victim. We can single-handedly see you act like not going to see your son and then pretending like Brittany's keeping your son from you. Like we could
yeah.
see the lack of growth in you. Like it's just I can see that it's probably only going to get worse and be downhill for him this season. So
Yeah. He's another person that like just can't help themselves. It's like it's so easy. We can all see what you need to do to act better, but they just can't like get their emotions in check and they just spiral every episode. But I thought Brittany was kind of silly too at the party, how she was like lurking around in the kitchen, like walking by him. I don't know. I think she likes the toxicness of that relationship and it's really hard for her to walk away. I do think she's done, but
Mhm.
there's part of her you can see like in the garage scene and all that, like where she's like missing him and you're like, what is there to even miss about Jax? Like that's
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I thought the scene where they ask him about uncovering the cameras and he just thinks he has like valid excuse for everything, right? Like, oh, it's my house.
Yeah.
I want to see who's coming in. Like, you're not paying the bills in this house. Like, this is
No.
not your house, you know?
No, and if you're separated, she can bring whoever she wants in the house. That's how it works.
You've been
So,
bringing people in the house since you've been separated, sir.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
he has a lot of double standards.
yeah,
It's weird.
yeah, yeah. But what was also good, wait, did anything else happen on the Valley before we move on to the Real Housewives?
No, I think that covers all of the most exciting parts. Like I said, a heavy Jax episode, but we figured that out with him getting out of rehab. So
Yeah,
we knew
yeah.
it was going to be Jax centered. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, what did you think of the Real Housewives episode? I thought it was really good. Our girl Lisa, because we're
yeah,
on first name basis
we're friends
now.
now.
Now
She
that
did say that we were gorgeous, which was very kind because she's gorgeous. She looks, like we said, a filter. She's just beautiful. So I'm
yeah,
like, she probably says that to everyone,
I
but
wish
she,
I would have been sitting in front of this light instead of my other light, but whatever. This
yes.
was this
Hey,
episode.
I literally had demon eyes and half my eyelashes hanging off. So next time we'll be more prepared and I'll be less sick and you won't be in a closet. So
Exactly. You guys didn't know I was in my closet just in case the dog barked, but whatever.
we're running an interesting operation over here. We're doing our best, okay? We're doing our best. We still don't have a theme song. We're
Oh
working on it. We're like,
I'd say, oh my God, I actually, we'll talk about that after, but I did text
okay.
her, I said, excuse me. And then I hit up like 10 people on Fiverr, like, just like,
Oh, you did?
like,
Okay.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, if you guys know where we can get a theme song, help us because we're like 63 episodes in now. But we just have so much fun making the content, like doing this part. And then we're like, oh, yeah, like that stuff that's not as fun, like the technical side of it that we need to figure out still because it's just us doing it. So
Yeah.
we're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're here. We're like, we're like, we could get a theme song or we could just talk about Love Island again. And then that's what we do. So this is the fun part. So
I know. So, but this episode was really good. Like again, I'm a new Bravo housewife girly, and
yes.
it's so entertaining. I obviously it was really heavy on Larsa and Lisa's friendship,
Yeah.
which and then I think the part that stuck out to me is again, I you're gonna have to help me with names, but the girl who was married to Todd.
Oh, yeah, Alexia.
Alexia. Oh,
Yes.
wait, is she married? Wait, the one who's having the bad divorce, right?
Yeah,
It's
Alexia. Yeah.
Alexia. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, like seeing her. Wait, how did the episode start? It was Fashion
It
Week, right?
started, yes, with that was so funny when they were on the same flight and then Lisa and Larsa were in the same car, which I don't
Oh my God, it
understand.
was so awkward that they were not only in the same van, but like facing each other. Like, what van
Right?
did that on purpose? What van faces each other?
That was so done on purpose because I'm like, Larsa's got like Pippin money. She could have just been like, I'm gonna get an Uber. I'm not doing this. But it was clearly like for the show. So they
Her
had
son like goes in the front and like ditches her and leaves her there. Like,
oh my
oh
gosh,
my
her
God.
son was so funny and reminds me of my kids because I got two boys and they're very like very practical, very matter of fact. Like that's how they would be with me. Like don't be confrontational. Like just let it go. Like he was not having her drama. But it was so funny when Lisa like rolled up and peeked in the door like, "Hey!" It was so funny.
Hello.
And then she sat in front of her and was like, she's like, "Where's Jodie gonna sit?" She's like, "Here. You want him to sit with you?" Like it was just so awkward. They're definitely the stars of this season. I feel like it was a lot about
Yeah,
Larsa and Lisa, but
it was funny. And then it was funny when they start having the conversation. And it's like, at first I was on Larsa's side. Like I understood her perspective, but then it's like hearing the way she speaks to people, it's like, no, because why are you now calling Jody names? Like now you're
yeah,
doing too much. And like to Lisa's point, like your kids here, calm down. You don't have to start name calling. Like, cause
no,
like now you're cussing at Jody. Now you're calling him names. He's telling you to your face, it's me. It's me. I'm the one that's hanging out with Michael or whatever, Marcus. Like,
yeah,
it's me. Like you
Yeah.
can't, she can't control that. Like if he's telling you to your face that this is what he's doing, like he has no loyalty to you and you just have to accept that. And you're either going to forgive Lisa for what her boyfriend's doing or you're not. But when she started calling him names and started like cursing at him, that's when I was
Yeah.
like, okay, you don't know how to talk to people. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Lisa is much sweeter and like has more kindness, and Larsa's very like prickly, she can be very rude. Like when Lisa was walking in the fashion show and Larsa was making such a point to like take selfies and just like talk down on her, like, oh, she's 50th, and
yeah.
Lisa's not really doing that. Like she's being a little shady, but Larsa takes it to like a
She
different
like,
level.
yeah, oh, let's take a selfie while she's walking in the show. And it's like she's still in the show. And she is,
Yeah.
and to her point, she's up there with a bunch of freaking professional models that are 20 years old. Like
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
killed
and
it.
she looked so good.
She looked good and her walk was really good. And so
Yeah.
you can act like you didn't see her all you want, but you're in the audience watching her at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And
Yeah, and
you didn't have the courage to get up there and do it because you got
yeah.
offered to be in the show and you didn't. And I just
Mm.
don't like that mean girl shit. Like you're not gonna like that's just petty. And I feel like Lisa was like trying her best. Like you're going and you're checking on her son. You know, when
Yeah,
Jodie
that was sweet.
sat next to Larsa, like she's like being an asshole about it. You know, and then you're trying to tie, I don't want to call him the little guy, but the guy that was there with Larsa, but he's also friends with Lisa,
Oh, yeah, like the fashion guy.
the
Yeah, yeah.
fashion guy. And it's like you're trying to make him miss her walk. You're trying to make, and then you could see he's trying his best to be like like, and not like give into that
Yeah.
shit. But it's like she did entirely too much, and that's why at the after party when you guys are trying to tell Fabulous, who I definitely don't think should be on their show because there were, stuff about Fabulous. You
Oh, I
know,
don't know.
girl,
What did he do?
Fabulous.
I
What did
only know him from his songs, but
no, there he has a
I
very
think he was like a thing with with Larsa, by the way. I
I
think
thought
they,
so too. I thought
yeah,
that was a story too.
yeah.
He very publicly dated Emily B, who I think is like on real like hip hop, love and hip hop. I don't know,
Oh,
but
okay.
very public, then a very public fight where he
Mm.
punched her two front teeth out. Yes, very public.
And he's on TV?
And he's on TV. That's why it's like he was canceled for a long time. And then people just like slowly forgot that he punched her teeth out of her mouth.
That's
And
crazy.
like a video surfaced of him like pulling a gun on her dad. And like it was bad. Like it was really bad. Like really bad. That's why I'm like, how did everybody just forget this guy is an A word? You know what I mean? So
Yeah. No, that's
yeah.
why I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
maybe, I mean, I would like to say Bravo didn't know that when they put him on, but they should be
No,
Googling these
it was
people.
too big of a story for people not to know it, you know?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
crazy.
so he agreed with Lisa that
Yeah.
he agreed with Lisa or yeah, like she can't really control what her man is doing. And Larsa's
No.
not telling the story properly by saying she's hanging out with my ex. No, she's not. Her boyfriend is, and she can't control.
Yeah.
You have to accept that and let it go. So it did seem like they were getting along at some point,
Hmm.
but something went down when cameras
Yeah.
shut
I know.
down.
See, I love Lisa, but I'm not having the best feelings about Jodie. What's your thoughts about Jodie?
I don't know. I feel like in the preview they were trying to imply that
Yeah, again about the drugs, right?
mhm, they were
Yeah,
trying
they're
to
trying
imply
to.
because she's showing a picture of his eyes, like that he got angry and his eyes are like bugged
I
out.
just assume like anyone over 30 or 40 in a club past midnight is doing drugs. I just feel like that's the only way you can make it out that
That's the
late.
only way that you're
So
staying up.
I'm like, you gotta be on something because I don't get it. I'd be home watching Dateline, but but yeah, I'm like, they are. That's clearly the story this season. That's the second episode in a row they've implied that he's like doing drugs. I did see Lisa got really upset and posted something after the episode last night and was like, she showed some more photos because clearly they pulled up like a not a Getty, but it was like a website type image, and she pulled up like showing that everyone's eyes looked that way and it
Mm,
wasn't just him.
okay.
So, but I just thought it was weird when she was saying to Larsa, like, he's mad at me. He's alone. Like, he's mad that we're talking. And I don't know. He just
Like
gives
he's mad
me,
that I'm like leaving him out and like when we're at an event.
yeah. And I know like a big criticism this season is that he's trying to be like her business manager. Like, he's always there and he's always around. And remember when we chatted with her, she said he doesn't want to be on the show, which he seems to be on it a lot for someone that doesn't want to be on, but he's doing it for her, which I understand. But I listened to her on Juicy Scoop. That was her
Mhm.
first podcast. And he like popped in like three-quarters of the way through and like
Oh, I
kind
heard
of took over and like
that.
talked. And I was like, I don't know, that's just weird. If you really genuinely don't want to be a part of it, you wouldn't do that. But then I'm like, maybe he just, because he's been dragged into it, he wants to say his own story. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't be having these weird thoughts about him if she hadn't have been saying he was mad at her. Now I'm kind of like side-eyeing him a bit,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah.
necessarily thinking he's doing drugs, but I just feel like he said in that Juicy Scoop episode how he like saw her online or whatever and was like, oh, who am I going to date next? And like, I'll date her next. And I don't know. I'm like, you
He
know who she
slid into your
was.
DM, yeah.
Yeah, you knew she was on the show. You knew who she was. I feel like it's weird when people say, I didn't want to be on the show. I want nothing to do with the show, but they actively pursued to date someone on a show. That doesn't add up, you know?
Yeah, and I don't think that any man is going to come out and be like, yeah, like I am a fan of Housewives, so I
Yeah.
actively sought out a single contact like person on the show so that I could
Yeah.
date them and be on the show too. Like
And
obviously we know that Lenny's ex allegedly was her motive, and it's like, oh, it
yeah.
makes sense when it's a hot young girl, but people don't see that being the motive for an elderly guy. So of
Yeah.
course, like all of the husbands, right? All of the husbands
Yeah.
say that they don't want to be filmed and they don't like being on the show, and the ones that don't, you don't see them much. Like you see them
Yes.
every now and
That's what I'm like. He's literally at that fashion show in his little outfit in the camera, like sitting with Larsa. Like, if you don't want to be, like, he could have gone on that trip with her, stayed off camera, stayed at the hotel, or done his own thing. Like, I, if you don't want to, if you're not a public person, you are not there, like you
yeah,
said. You
it's
don't
giving
have to
very
do that.
much want to be on camera, and it
Very much.
yeah, it's giving very much you do. So
Yeah, so Lisa and Larsa pretty much dominated the whole episode, but I mean, I thought at the end they resolved their little fight,
me
but it
too.
looks like it didn't. And we see
Yeah.
that next week. It just kept going, but there was a couple other things going on in the episode, like Alexia was crying about her divorce with Todd. So
Yeah.
I was so confused by their
Me
situation. Like,
too.
I
That was
don't
literally
get
going to
it.
be my words because I think in last episode we saw that like obviously after what he did to her, like who the hell would ever talk to him ever again? Like that's crazy. But then we seen
Yeah,
that they had been hanging out again. And then
yeah,
now in this episode, she's like crying over him, saying he's a narcissist, saying that he's like she's like, but she's still attracted to him and she's weak for
yeah,
him. And like he's guess I'm moving forward with the divorce and doesn't want to be with her. So now I'm like, okay, on this week's episode, he doesn't want to be with her. Last week's episode, he did want to be with her. So
yeah.
right now we're at they're getting divorced and he doesn't want to be with her.
Well, and she was on Watch What Happens Live, I think yesterday, and Andy was like, "Are you and Todd together now?" And she's like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, but are you like hooking up, like physically?" And she was like, "Oh, yeah." And he was like months ago, and she's like days ago. So it's still happening.
Oh
Like, yeah,
god.
in real time. So
Oh gosh.
and
Okay.
their divorce is final now, but they're still hooking up. So I don't know. It seems like they had a fight and he literally just divorced her, but they're still together. It's very odd. So
Very odd.
it's,
Very odd.
yeah, because she's crying about their divorce, but they're still doing all the things married people do. So I don't get it.
I
They're
don't
divorced on paper, and that's about it. So,
I don't get it. I don't get it. I was like, okay, I get
yeah,
it.
hopefully we get more clarity throughout the season because she was
Yeah,
saying he
because
has
it's
like,
like, why would you talk to that man ever again? Imagine Ashley coming home and your husband just moved everything out and was just like, I want a divorce.
no.
What? Like, yeah, exactly. No. And then be like, a couple months later, like, actually, come back over
Right.
here.
Right. It's like, yeah, if you get divorced, I think that's your sign. It's time to not talk to that person anymore. Like, where
And
can
the
you
way
go from
you
there?
did it, like the way you did it was such like bullshit. Like the way you did it, like who does that to somebody? Just moves out up and just boop, I'm out of here.
No, it's their situation is so weird.
Yeah.
Same with Gertie and Julia's situation. Like their fight, it
I
seems a
don't
little.
even know why the hell they're fighting. Like, honestly, I'm like, okay, Julia, she tried to get on the chat and then you didn't want to tell her what happened because it was public information. So you didn't tell her what happened. And then she says congratulations, but you think that she was being snarky because it was short in your opinion. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
No, yeah, it seems like both of them are being so silly because I think Julia easily could have just said, "Oh, sorry you missed the Zoom. I adopted these kids. I can't talk right now. I'll tell you more later." Like
Yeah.
she was being rude with her, like, "Oh, it's public now. Like you'll hear about it." Like that's
Yeah.
rude. And
Yeah.
then her being like, "Congrats" is rude. But this sounds like they had a fight before that at some party where Gertie was getting mad at her about a dinner reservation. But
Yeah. I was trying to keep up. I was like, honestly, I don't give a fuck. Like,
no.
whatever. Like,
Uh, Like I said, I love Gertie. I don't want them to fight with her. I think she's going through enough, and I'm like,
yeah.
just yeah. Seeing
Yeah.
her boob reconstruction was a lot, but I didn't know they can take like fat and put it in your boobs. Because
Yeah, so
sign me
I
up for that.
they can it's like a fat transfer. So when you do a fat
Yeah.
transfer, most people do get it to their butt and they have a BBL and a big fat butt.
Oh,
But
is that how they do a BBL?
yes, they take the fat from your abdomen and your back and they put it in your butt.
What?
Yeah. Mhm. How
Okay.
did you not know that? And then you could do it, you can do the fat transfer to your boob.
I
But
don't.
they say that when you get the fat transfer to your boobs, it's a more natural, like looking
Yeah.
implant. But if you work out and stuff like that, like the fat doesn't really stay. It
I
doesn't.
always thought a BBL was like an implant, like a boob implant. I didn't
No,
know it was your
they
own.
literally
This
take the
is
fat
very
from
new
so they
information.
give you lipo 360, so they give you lipo all the way around, and then they inject it into your butt
Oh, because
and
I've
your
always
hip
heard
and your hips. They,
BBLs are very like deadly. Like you could
yeah.
die. And
Mhm.
I knew something weird about it. Like not the same as like a breast
Yeah,
implant,
because
but
you can
that
hit I
makes
guess you
sense.
can hit a lot of like injecting it into the buttocks. You can hit there's a lot of veins, a lot of nerves, a lot of arteries. So
Right.
they do have like I wouldn't say a high death rate, but it's more than any other surgery, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
but
good
that's
to
how
know.
they do it. They don't actually take an implant and stuff it up there.
Oh, I
At
thought
your own body.
I'm interested in this fat for the boobs because I got the mom boobs now, so they're
I
not where
don't
they
think
used to
you
be.
should just do an implant because they do say that the fat has trouble staying in.
Yeah, okay. It
Mhm.
probably just does what your regular boobs did then and
Yeah,
like
like yeah, it has trouble staying. So at least an implant will keep them lifted and up.
I just don't like the thought of a foreign object in the body. That freaks me out. Even though I know so many people have them and it's
Yeah.
fine, but I don't know. I just
Yeah,
like
and
I
Grace looks
don't.
amazing. She looks
Yeah, she
amazing.
does.
I wonder what surgery that they're gonna recommend because I was like, oh, she looks really great. And I was like,
Yeah,
but I didn't know, like you said, like fat transfer to the boob is not really like a popular thing. So that's why in the last episode when I was like, you had to get lipo because of your boobs, like, okay, I had to also
yeah,
get a nose job because of mine. Like, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it makes sense. Like the fat transfer to give like a more natural look, that makes sense. So
yeah.
looks great. I was like, okay, like,
Yeah, she looks really good. And I think it's like she's had cancer, right? So obviously you have the cancer surgeries, and then it makes sense that she would like to try to get back to where she was. But I know her husband seemed like worried or upset because it is a lot to go through, like surgery after surgery after surgery. But I don't blame her for wanting to get back what she had before.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I think she does look great now too, though. So.
yeah.
It's so hard when you see something yourself that you want to fix, but people around you are like, you look great, you look fine, like you don't have to do that. But if you're not happy with how you look, it's hard to convince, you
Yeah,
know?
especially when you're comparing it to how you used to look. So
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. And I know her husband's like, you look beautiful no matter what. Like, you're fine. And it's like, Shush.
Yeah,
No.
totally. Like, I don't care what you think. I want to think it.
Yes, I wanna think it. But
So
yeah,
good for you.
I'm loving this season so far. Looks like we're gonna get more Larsa and Lisa drama.
Yes.
Yeah, so Lisa's the show this season, so make sure you guys check out our interview because
Yes.
we got interview with a main cast housewife.
Yes, our very first one. It was so
So,
exciting.
so
And yeah, I know it's so cool to see comments when you guys are like, oh, we can wait for your recap or like thinking about what you're thinking while you're watching it. Like, it's just so cool. When I first started my page, like, that's all I wanted was to find people that love watching these silly shows as much as I do.
yeah,
And it's cool that we have this little community. So it's so fun.
so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you
Yes.
guys for joining us here every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, see you
Yeah,
guys.
we're having too much fun.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.